Mm-hmm. Check test 1 2. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our election night coverage here on the Parkland Podcast on YouTube and Facebook. I want to thank you all for tuning in. My name is Jason Lowry, and to my left here I have Daniel Jaycox. Hey, how's it going? Are you excited to be here to be the Mark Tody replacement?
Well, I'm hoping Mark's listening.
Okay.
Because if he's listening,
right?
Within the first 10 minutes, I'll give him 7-8 reasons to not be worried about me being his permanent replacement.
And then there's Lisa Brotherton. She's coming down. Okay, now you're out of the shot.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Your coffee is in the shot, though, but that's okay.
Good. It looks yummy.
Yeah. We don't have any coffee sponsors, so it's okay that 7 Brew's in there.
So I can bring my cup up.
Yeah, absolutely. Panera. I was probably going to talk about them at some point, too. But we're just a few minutes away from the polls actually closing, and very exciting time here tonight at Election Central on Weber Road. We'll talk to Kevin Engler, the county clerk, here in just a couple of minutes and get those final numbers. You literally voted just a couple of minutes ago. What number were you?
I think, I'm trying to remember, I think I was 1,003 something, somewhere in there. I think that's about right. So they've had a lot of folks come through. It was not busy. It was easy to get through. The folks were friendly. It's well run. It was easy process for me. I had some concerns. They consolidated down to fewer locations. Thought it might be a little trickier, but it was a smooth process at this facility. For sure. Absolutely.
This is where I voted too back on Wednesday. The wife and I came in and voted. Wanted to make sure we got everything out of the way in case something popped up today, although we probably could have had time, especially with how smoothly everything went. But again, glad to get those ballots casted and get those in.
I feel like mine counts better, if it's toward the end. Like it might have been.
I think so too. It's like worth almost like 1.25.
Yeah, so it just feels.
Yeah.
I know that
this guy's really busting it here to be here last minute, man. We got it.
The last minute,
Yeah, absolutely.
In one direction,
So our election coverage tonight is brought to you by Bauman Oil, by Pettis Automotive, MacTech, and Kent Sism, a candidate for presiding commissioner in the August primary. So those are our sponsors for tonight's coverage. And again, we had everything consolidated to the 4 locations, with the exception of Bismarck and Leadwood. Those precincts remained open and are just now closing as we sit here right at 7 o'clock. But everybody else was, and I think Bismarck and Leadwood worked this way too. You walked in, you scanned your ID, and they print the ballot for you right there.
Yeah, right on demand. So I don't know if that's a cost-saving measure. It's got to be, right? We're not having a bunch of pre-printed ballots out, hoping somebody comes by and uses them. And it was quick. It took just a couple seconds for them to print that out and hand it to me. And it looked right. It looked like the things I was supposed to be voting for, No extras in there, unfortunately. I had a few opinions on some things elsewhere in the county that I was ineligible for.
But those initiatives did not make it past the signature process, I suppose.
Yeah, they had the 2 ladies there checking for it.
Right,
so they made sure everything was on the
can't vote on that. Sorry. So there you go. We have election night coverage. We're going to go over all the returns for St. Francis County. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll preview the races that people were voting on today in St. Francis County, and we'll talk to Kevin Engler, St. Francis County Clerk, coming up next. It's election night coverage here on Facebook and YouTube Live.
For 3 generations, Bauman Oil has proudly served our community. It all started in 1948 when Louis Bauman partnered with Mobil Oil in Crystal City. As the area grew, so did Bauman, fueling homes, farms, and businesses across Jefferson and South St. Louis counties. In 1980, Paul Bauman took the reins, forming Bauman Oil Distributors. Today, the tradition continues with Jeremy Bauman delivering fuel and lubricants across a 7-county region. Bauman Oil, locally owned, community-focused, and here to stay. Want to work for a family-first company? Find out more at baumanoil.com.
Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis. St. Francis County, it's our home, built on hard work, strong values, and community. But many believe it's time for a change. Meet Kent Sissom, a lifelong resident and retired businessman who understands what matters most. He's spent his entire life in this county, working the family business, raising a family, and learning firsthand the challenges the community faces. Kent Sissom is focused on responsible government spending, growing the local economy, and bringing transparency back to county government. He's working with community leaders to strengthen St. Francis County and build a better future for everyone. Kent Sissom believes the county can be stronger, more accountable, and ready for tomorrow. Vote Kent Sissom August 4th in the Republican primary for St. Francis County Presiding Commissioner. Kent Sissom, time for a change. Paid for by Citizens for Kent Sissom. Dave Black, Treasurer.
I was vicious. This one.
St. Francis County, it's our home, built on hard work, strong values, and community. But many believe it's time for a change. Meet Kent Sissom, a lifelong resident and retired businessman who understands what matters most. He's spent his entire life in this county, working the family business, raising a family, and learning firsthand the challenges the community faces. Kent Sissom is focused on responsible government spending, growing the local economy, and bringing transparency back to county government. He's working with community leaders to strengthen St. Francis County and build a better future for everyone. Kent Sissom believes the county can be stronger, more accountable, and ready for tomorrow. Vote Kent Sissom August 4th in the Republican primary for St. Francis County Presiding Commissioner. Kent Sissom, time for a change. Paid for by Citizens for Kent Sissom. Dave Black, Treasurer. Okay, here we go. All right, back on the Parkland podcast here at Election Central on Weber Road. Just about to get those absentee ballot results to pass on to you. But now the man of the hour, Kevin Engler, joins us, St. Francis County Clerk. How are you, sir?
Great day. Wanting to get it over with.
Yeah. Well, how has your day been?
It has been exceptional. We had a couple minor, as we do every time, electronic glitches over at the college. We had a counting machine that just was fidgety. Now we have multiple, because now since we combined, we have multiple machines, so it wasn't a problem. Like last year, we had a problem in Bismarck, and it was over half an hour before we could get it resolved because we had to send somebody out here. Now that situation taken care of, but North County, they did great. The kids that were volunteers there were just outstanding. Parking cars, we had plenty of parking. We had plenty of parking in the Civic Center, plenty of parking. The only thing we had was we don't have a lot of parking here, and this for some reason people decided it was their go-to spot. We had over 1,000 people vote here today, which normally we only have about 150 people vote here. So we had great turnouts. This was the biggest one here, and then the college did about 750, and the North County did about 700, and Civic Center did about 600 and some odd, and we had started off with over 1,500 pre-votes before today. So for April, it's better than we did in 24. It may be better than we did in 25, which is surprising because last year, if you remember, we had all the mayoral races that were tight and brought people out, and we had the school bond issue that brought people out, and we had pretty big numbers. I remember Deloge, it was a very big race, and they had like 14% or something, 15, which was bigger than. I mean, that's still terrible, but relatively, if we can get over 10% on this, it could be really great. So we're figuring out. We're going to have we have already done the absentees. You have to do those the afternoon of the day, and you can't release them till 7 o'clock. It's after 7 o'clock, so we'll be going back here. Now, that will show a true reflection of where you're at, because we have over 1,500 votes in pre-voting. So that's a lot. That's going to be 30%, or maybe up to 35% of the total vote. So that will give you a good view of, and we had people from every place come here and pre-vote. So that when that comes in, that's going to give you that's going to tell you if a race is just crazy or if it's tight. Because if it's within 2 or 3%, you're saying, oh my gosh, that's enough That's a significant sample. You know, most of the time they only do a 3 or 4% sample. A 30% sample is huge.
Right.
How were things at the old locations of Bismarck and Leadwood today?
Everything went fine. Didn't have any problems. They had about 100 or so votes in each place, which is typical.
Okay.
100 to 200 on that. What we did eliminate is a lot of our locations that had less than 100. 50 votes, 37 votes, and those places we don't have to wait for some of those places come in from the people don't understand. Well, why can't we keep a poll here? Because taxpayers are paying for that, and it's costing us in a year about $100,000 taxpayers' money. Not all from this county, not all from the school districts, but overall, we can't. The other thing, people say, well, why do we have to do this? Well, when you have 9 of your 21 precincts that aren't ADA compliant, first, it's unfair to have somebody in a wheelchair that can't vote properly. Second, it's illegal for them. So if they choose to sue us, we're going to be paying for it. So now that we changed the equipment so that you can vote any place because it prints the ballot, that's the other thing. We printed like 10 more ballots than we needed today that had to be spoiled, and we're not going to have to pay $600 to have the extra ballots shredded.
You can't just throw them away.
You can't just throw them away. No, but nor can you just print a little amount. You cannot run out. That's one of the fears of an election official, is to run out of ballots. Then you can't just run out. With this new system, they print it as you do it. So if you were, like I was saying earlier, the first 2 people at MAC today were people from Farmington that teach it at MAC, and they wanted to go ahead and vote before they went and started teaching. So it was perfect for them. They could pull it up. Contrary to that was at North County, we had teachers from other places that live in other places that came on over on their breaks and voted, so they didn't have to go back to Terre-de-Lac or wherever at night and vote. So that worked really well. So.
Sounds great. Now, how many volunteers do you have to have in a location, even if there's only 30 voters?
Well, it kind of screws things. You have to have 4. So like when we have Leadington, we had to have 4, 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans. Right. Today, we thought the Civic Center would big. We had 30, 40 people, and it was our smallest precinct. We had 5 assigned here because the most ever voted here was 160-something. So we had 5, two voting machines, 1 printer, and we were full all day. I had to bring 4 people over from the Civic Center because they couldn't get breaks. It was there was somebody to the door all the time. Nobody waited more than 5 minutes for a ballot, and in most places we timed it from the time they got out of their car, since we had great parking right on the site, in, processed, voted, and out was less than 8 minutes. That's cooking. It's not much time out of your day if you can get there, in, out, voted in less than 10 minutes. So.
It sounds like the process was very smooth.
Today it was a nightmare last night in my mind, but it turned out smooth this morning when we got there. We went to all 3 sites 3 times and staged it. What are we going to do? Where are we going to park the people? And then, like at North County, the principal met with us, with the chief of police, with the assistant superintendent, with the janitorial staff. Where do you need tables? How many tables do you need? This was a week ago. And then yesterday we went over, and our road crews, which I appreciate them doing it, dropped off all the heavy equipment. We took it, set it up, and now we're doing an evaluation. I've asked all 3 sites there to evaluate what would work better, what would flow people more, because in November we're going to have to flow about 5 to 7 times as many people. Right. So are you clogged anywhere? Where will it go if you in the middle of the day suddenly have 50 people show up? What will you do to make it quicker? And so that's what we're going to evaluate. Is there a better way to set these things up? But as far as the crowd today, it couldn't have been better.
How do you anticipate the results coming in tonight? How quickly do you think that's going to happen?
Okay, what's going to happen is, it's not like the old days where you're going to get a precinct from Doe Run, and then a precinct from Deloge 3, and then all 3 of the voting centers, as well as this one, have counting machines that will be full with a mix. There'll be people from Central in there. There'll be votes from Farmington. There'll be votes from the council seat in Ward 3 or whatever in Farmington. They will be mixed, so we will have to first, like I said, that absentee will give you the best because it's an overview of everybody. Then we will probably get the one here at the poll, the 1,040 people today voted. That will come in because it's in-house. We have to bring in the thumb drives. The thumb drives tell the tale. It tells you exactly how many were counted. We test these things a week before, a week after. It is exact how many people voted, how many, and then we make sure that the amount of ballots issued equals those numbers. And so that one will come in first. Then I'm guessing that maybe the college will come in, that they have two vote counting machines, so they will have a thumb drive out of both of them. So they will be taken out, added to that ballot. Then 2 will come in from North County, and then 2 from the Civic Center. Then Bismarck and Leadville will come in as usual, but they will only contain the ballots from Leadwood and Bismarck. So, for example, we have people from Farmington School District here. Nothing that's voted in Bismarck will affect their school bond.
Okay.
It's just not same way with Leadwood.
Okay.
But they could have 100 ballots from the northern part of the county of people that were working up there, and it was more convenient for them to vote up there. So they're going to have to know when it comes in. So it's going to be a little different than before, but you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different thumb drives that will come in the next half an hour. When they're tabulated, we have a company that comes in that represents the voting machines, which I might point out are not connected to the internet.
Good. I like to hear that.
Now, so they cannot be tampered with.
Okay.
Now, one thing is changed is our poll pads where you check in now are connected to Hotspot. So we're connected. So if somebody changes their address, it immediately tells North County School that Kevin's changed his address and is being issued a ballot. You cannot issue a ballot anymore. We didn't have that before. I didn't want to say that, but
So
we closed these things on Friday, and then the people that voted Saturday before the election and Monday, we have no idea that they had voted. So I had to run around a sheet. I give somebody half, Mike take half, and run around and say, here's your people that voted from Doe Run. If they come in today, they can't vote. And we caught somebody trying to vote twice up at Terre de Lac one time. But we have to run those around, and those people technically, before they check them in, have to go through their list to make sure that that person hasn't voted. Now we don't do that. As soon as they vote, all 5 sites know it and take them out of the system.
Jason knows I used to live in Terre de Lac, so I got to clarify that wasn't me.
That wasn't you?
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. You know what it was? It was somebody that bet somebody there was no way this was in the presidential. And we were cooking.
Oh, man.
And he bet there's no way that he could vote Saturday and they know about it up there on Monday. And so he tries to vote, and fortunately, bless her, she looked and said, sir, I showed that you voted this weekend. And he said, yes, that's right. And he immediately went to now this is a federal crime.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could have really screwed the pooch. He committed a federal crime, but he immediately went to the supervisor and said, I swore that there's no way that you guys could catch this. You did it, and I'm wrong, and I will tell everybody that you got a handle on who's voting when. But if she wouldn't have caught it, he was going to go through and show that we don't have a handle. And now it doesn't matter. These things are connected to each other, and it'd be like the one sitting right next to the person checking them in, saying that person's already voted. So
wow,
it's kind of neat.
That's crazy.
The technology, and the other thing we can do now is change addresses. Back in the last presidential election, on the day of the election, we changed 4,000 addresses.
Wow.
Now, I had my whole staff from the courthouse and everybody else here taking calls from any supervisor would tell you that's the worst nightmare. You stay on the line trying to get a hold of somebody that can connect you with the state and change of address. Now we have a line. If you're not smart enough to change your address, there's your line.
Oh, nice.
You go sit there. You don't hold everybody else up that were smart enough to. You
Get
go
sorted out,
and they can go through and change your address from that point. And once they change your address, it tells all the other sites that person's changed their address and they can't vote anymore because they've just been pulled up a ballot. So that's kind of an interesting twist on this new technology that we're using now. And we did have a couple blind voters, so all 3 of those sites have the state-of-the-art blind voting machines that are $3,700. If we have 21 locations, we have to buy $50,000 more of blind voting machines when we don't have any other blind voters that I know about.
Wow.
You know, we usually have 1 to 2, and so that was going to be a $50,000. That was my final straw. We're saying I'm not paying $50,000 for machines that aren't going to be used, just so that Leadington can have a machine. But now we have one at those 3 big centers and here, so we're good.
Right.
What else?
I'm ready for some results. You got some
All right,
results?
I'll go check and see where the absentees are. They got those done about 5:30, so we know they're ready. They balanced the right amount of votes for the right amount of ballots that were issued. That's what we check. And then if there's, for example, a military ballot, we have to interpret that because that's electronics sent to it, and a Democrat and a Republican has to fill out a ballot for that service member's benefit, and they put it in, and so that's all done in the afternoon of the election. We have a team of Democrats and Republicans that look over that, and so they balanced everything. Some nights, remember, we're keeping you out of here because they couldn't get the things to balance. Today it balanced before 5:30.
Oh yeah,
which,
I was able to get back
is
here.
good. That one time we had to.
Yep. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I think he muted his own mic right there at the end.
I think we got it, yeah.
Fantastic. I might need to change back. Well, no, there it is. It's working good. Go ahead and turn it off if you don't mind. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back. Maybe we'll have some election night results to give you. If not, we'll run through the whole ballot so you know what you're watching. It's election night coverage right here on the Parkland Podcast on YouTube and Facebook Live.
For 3 generations, Bauman Oil has proudly served our community. It all started in 1948 when Louis Bauman partnered with Mobil Oil in Crystal City. As the area grew, so did Bauman, fueling homes, farms, and businesses across Jefferson and South St. Louis counties. In 1980, Paul Bauman took the reins, forming Bauman Oil Distributors. Today, the tradition continues with Jeremy Bauman delivering fuel and lubricants across a 7-county region. Bauman Oil, locally owned, community-focused, and here to stay. Want to work for a family-first company? Find out more at baumanoil.com.
Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis. Welcome back to election night coverage here on Facebook and YouTube Live. We appreciate you watching the Parkland Podcast. Our election night coverage is powered by Bauman Oil, by Pettis Automotive, by Kent Sism, your candidate for presiding commissioner of St. Francis County, and by Mac Tech, all sponsoring our election night coverage. As myself and Daniel J. Cox bring you up-to-date results, we are anticipating getting some of the first round of ballots, which would be the absentee ballots in momentarily. But let's give a quick rundown. You want to go ahead and start with Bismarck and let the voters know who's on the ballot today.
Yeah, we've got some candidates there. We got 5 vying for a 3-year term in Bismarck. Michael Barton, Sally Caldwell, Mark Hedrick, Adam Cato, and Justin Kitchell. And then there's one 1-year term, Farron Henson.
He's the most relaxed guy tonight on election night.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty chill.
Unless the write-ins got him.
You'd hate to lose to a write-in.
You would.
I think that'd make me nervous.
That would. West County, who we have there?
We've got Chris Lashley, Brent Belfield, Nick Jones, and Rick Lawson. There's 3 open seats there. We got 4 folks vying for those.
Farmington, that's been the biggest as far as sheer numbers and probably the most talked about school board race this year.
Absolutely. There's 3 open seats there. You've got Jerry Freeman, Angela Hahn, Howard Hohen, Stephanie Cabrera, Vanessa Pegram, Kyle Short, and Ethan Smallin. They're all fighting for those 3 seats.
And then you look at Central Schools, you have 3 open seats there and 4 names on the ballot. Dina Hart and Denny Norris are the incumbents, and Aaron Bates and Adam Redeker are the 2 challengers for the Central School District. North County, what do you got for North County?
3 open seats again there, 3 incumbents. Alan Grimminger, Julie Pratt, and Stacy Wilfong are the incumbents, and Ryan Hawkins is in the mix there too.
So those are our contested school board races that we'll be covering tonight. An issue that affects the entire voting population of St. Francis County, the St. Francis County Ambulance District proposition. They're actually just asking to move the operating tax from a half cent to a full cent, and that's on the ballot today.
Yeah, they're looking for growth. It's the growth proposition, right? Satellite locations set up in other areas. The idea is better equipment, better technology, and better response time, right?
That is what they are saying. So we'll see if voters approve that. Farmington R7 School District levy. Now this one's complicated.
Yeah, a little complicated.
So what's happening is and of course the ballot language says, shall the Board of Education be authorized to increase the operating tax levy to $3.05 per $100 of assessed valuation beginning in the tax year 2026 for the purposes of attracting, retaining qualified certified teachers and support staff, maintaining facilities, and meeting additional operating expenses. The district intends to reduce the debt service levy by 30 cents to offset the estimated increase, resulting in a net zero rate change. So it's a very long way to say no tax increase?
Yeah, so it's like a no tax increase. We're doing the multi-bucket system, right?
Yes.
We've got a bucket for this, a bucket for this. We've got restrictions on this bucket. We want to use this bucket of money to do this to help, meet certain goals. But that is going to change the debt service to move that money over. So.
And again, it's a very, very contested race. We have 3 of the Farmington School Board members here tonight, one of which is running for re-election. And I would assume that if once the results come in, we'll probably see the other school board candidates come in as well.
Right.
Farmington City, they want to continue a 5% tax on hotel rooms, motel rooms basically. It calls sleeping room occupied and rented by transient guests. But that means if you get a room at the Hampton Inn, there'll be a 5% tax on that, which will go to promote tourism.
Yeah, that transient, if you're not reading carefully, it'll throw you a little bit.
You're
transient
like, what?
guest.
Homeless? What? No.
Yeah.
People on vacation.
Yeah, and that money is supposed to be earmarked strictly for promotion and tourism, right? As it's written. Yeah.
Yes, I believe, I'm 90% sure that's how Discover Farmington gets their money.
Right, okay, so
is from that tax and from other places as well.
That makes sense.
Greg Beavers might be in later to correct me on that. Central School Board District, they're doing a tax service levy, property tax levy. They want to borrow $13,500,000 for the purpose of providing funds for site development, construction, equipping, and furnishing of a new storm shelter and a laundry list of items that are included in this. And of course, Superintendent Zach Payne is here, and he'll be checking out the results But Central, and I talked to him about this when we had him on the podcast, the voters of Central have had a good track record of approving items like this and supporting their school districts. So it'll be interesting to see how the voters feel about this tonight.
Yeah, it's a pretty extensive list of potential upgrades, and they're putting it right out there and saying this is what we're going to do with the money. So we'll see if the voters support that.
Proposition U, this is happening in 2 communities right now, Park Hills and Deloge. Both these towns have ran this issue before, and basically what it is an internet sales tax. Right now, if you buy something on Amazon, there's a city tax collected, but that money gets, I guess, returned to Amazon. I'm not really sure how that works, but the taxes are collected, but they're not going to these municipalities. St. Francis County got this across the finish line I want to say a couple of elections ago. I'd have to ask some of the people that were on the board when that happened. I know that Farmington has been able to pass theirs. Park Hills and Deloge have been trying to do this a couple of different times. I think, and here I go, like thinking out loud on a podcast, but I think that there is like a limit of the amount of times that you can run an item like this, and I don't know if either of these communities are to it or not. But both are trying again. We'll see what the voters have to say about this. And it's a tax that is equal to what you would pay at McDonald's or Walmart, any place that you make a physical purchase from a box store.
Right, okay.
So that's what's going on in those communities. And then Pilot Knob has a rural public water supply district, and they want to sell their water system to this Missouri American Water Company and take care of all their debt.
Okay.
Can we do this with our houses? Like, can I just sell my water
to the water company
to the American Water Company and get rid of all my debt?
Well, I mean, if we find out that we can, I think we'll have a lot of calls in to the podcast to get some contact info on how that's going to work. I think there'll be a lot of people interested in that. But yeah, I was trying to decide if that was some sort of privatization of the water system itself, or what was happening with that.
I don't know. David Cramp, if you're watching, maybe we need him to drive up here from Pilot Knob. He's the Pilot Knob expert. He could probably tell us all about
He'd
that.
probably be able to pass that along to us.
We have a few contested alderman races. The city of Deloge in Ward 3. Debbie Kester is facing two challengers in Phyllis Ritter and Ron Brady. City of Farmington, Ward 1, Adam Parks, the incumbent, challenged by Jason Denby. Ward 4 in Farmington, Dan Combs Jr., challenged by Logan Bryson. Park Hills, Ward 2, David Easter, challenged by Chris Bub Boyd. And Park Hills, one-year term for Ward 3, Matthew Rasnick, who was appointed that position, I want to say a couple months ago. He's very recent to the job. And Cindy Penberthy, who has served on the board before, is the challenger in that race. And then Leadington. They just put everybody in there. There's no wards in Leadington. Everybody is available for the election, and they have 4 people running for 2 spots. Lance F. Tank and Steve Kinsey are the incumbents. Jennifer Parker and Casey Brady are the challengers. So there you go. That's what's on the ballot today. And again, we're starting to load up on viewers, up over 125 on Facebook now watching. Apparently we're on the TVs at Hub's Pub in Bonne Terre.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Make sure you tip your waitress as well. So thank you for watching. Let's see. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to scroll through the comments now because we're kind of at a spot. Miley Washington says, hey, Jason. It's Mr. Lowry to you, Miley. And then her older sister, who's a lot more, no, I'm just kidding. Maddie Washington says, hey, Mr. Lowry, your students are watching. Thanks for covering election night. It says here that Christina Engler puts Kevin Engler for governor. That's one of the comments we have right now. Mike Adams, voting went fantastic. Thank you, sir. Chad Winch says, best election coverage ever. Elaine Morris-Caster tagged herself. The Barn says, awesome coverage. Chad Smith says, great work. The Barn says, where's Mark Toady? Mark Toady is in Illinois with a family member right now. He had a big Easter celebration, and that's why we have Daniel here.
Yeah.
And so far, Mark has not weighed in to say if you're doing good or bad, so that's probably a good thing.
Well, I mean, like I said, the less he sees of it, you know.
That's true. No. Vicki Tiffenheyer is watching from Hubs as well. Thank you, Vicki. Appreciate that. Glad you talked the waitresses into turning that on. And yeah, Kim Stearman Massey is asking, when do we get results? Hopefully really soon. We sent Kevin Engler to fetch the absentee ballots for us. So hopefully we'll have those soon. Casey Hartley says, Mike Miller for collector. Oh, they're already campaigning for some of the races coming up. Oh, and Natalie Mucci says, you're the best, Mr. Lowry. Thank you, Natalie. Your check is in the mail.
Sure, say, is she a student too? Is she lobbying for a grade?
She's a student's parent.
Oh, well, still
but
maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
still maybe lobbying for a
absolutely.
grade, right?
It's still. Now Miley Washington has corrected herself. Excuse me, Mr. L.
Oh, that's
okay.
Much more formal.
Yeah,
like that.
definitely much more formal. Thanks again for watching. It's election night coverage. No results in yet. We are anticipating those coming in just a little bit, and as soon as we have those for you, we will pass those along to you now as we sit here at 7:30. 145 people are watching on Facebook. How's our YouTube numbers looking?
Oh, we're close. We're narrowing the gap on 20 there.
Okay, yeah, we're up to 155 now, watching on both platforms according to Restream. And again, we appreciate everybody tuning in to our election night coverage. And we'll do this again in August. We'll have the August primaries. That'll happen the first Tuesday of August. And then the big one, the midterms, happening in November.
Yeah, and I mean, with any luck, you'll have Toady back for those.
Well, it depends on, he might have had such a good time tonight and be like, yeah, I'm fine.
Hand it over to the youth.
Yeah, just hand it over.
I hope he heard me say that.
Yeah.
I
would appreciate that a lot.
Want to give a good shout out. They're watching us over at the River's Edge Archery Club. So.
Jake Whitener says, Dan Jaycox, rough color man.
Yeah, that sounds right. Well, you just wait till we call in the ABS on that called strike. I'll have that one nailed down.
No kidding.
I'll know that one. Whether it's CB Buckner or not, I'll know.
Let's see. Denise Gray Hedrick said she voted at Mac. It was very easy and everyone was very nice. Thanks for reporting. David Shaw says we're doing great. Alyssa Fenwick, election day may be over, but the work for our community continues. Looking forward to what's ahead. And then, of course, Adam Rediker says that Kayla Willie Lowry is one lucky woman. Thank you, cuz. I appreciate that tremendously. And Danielle Rediker is one lucky lady, too. Let me tell you that, buddy. Very good. Well, let's go ahead and take a commercial break. When we come back, hopefully we'll have those absentee ballots for you next. It's Election Night coverage from Election Night Central here on Weber Road on Facebook and YouTube Live.
St. Francis County, it's our home, built on hard work, strong values, and community. But many believe it's time for a change. Meet Kent Sissom, a lifelong resident and retired businessman who understands what matters most. He's spent his entire life in this county, working the family business, raising a family, and learning firsthand the challenges the community faces. Kent Sissom is focused on responsible government spending, growing the local economy, and bringing transparency back to county government. He's working with community leaders to strengthen St. Francis County and build a better future for everyone. Kent Sissom believes the county can be stronger, more accountable, and ready for tomorrow. Vote Kent Sissom August 4th in the Republican primary for St. Francis County Presiding Commissioner. Kent Sissom, time for a change.
Paid for by Citizens for Kent Sissom. Dave Black, Treasurer. Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis.
For 3 generations, Bauman Oil has proudly served our community. It all started in 1948 when Louis Bauman partnered with Municipal Oil in Crystal City. As the area grew, so did Bauman, fueling homes, farms, and businesses across Jefferson and South St. Louis counties. In 1980, Paul Bauman took the reins, forming Bauman Oil Distributors. Today, the tradition continues with Jeremy Bauman, delivering fuel and lubricants across a 7-county region. Bauman Oil, locally owned, community-focused, and here to stay. Want to work for a family-first company? Find out more at baumanoil.com.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Back at Election Central, waiting for those absentee ballots to make their way onto the TV or into Daniel's hands or somewhere. And hope to have that information for you momentarily. And then after that, we'll start getting our results in. 4 new locations this year that were open to St. Francis County residents to vote. No matter where you lived, you could vote at the Mac Tech building. You could vote here at Weber Road. You could vote at the First State Community Bank Center in Farmington. And you could vote in the White Gym at North County High School. And then Bismarck and Leadwood kept their same precincts open today. And as we learned talking to Kevin Engler a while ago, we're not just going to get like one thumb drive of information. We're going to get 2 thumb drives of information from each voting precinct.
From some of them, depending on the number of voting machines that they had present.
Yes.
So I think he said 8 total, not counting absentee. I think is what he said. I know that there are 2 sets at Mac Tech. They said they had 2 machines going there. So hopefully those data sets will be coming in soon. We need absentees first, and then expect some of those after they cross-reference and verify and all of those things. So. And
with everything, absentees are always a great indicator of what to expect because, like Kevin said earlier, you're getting a full countywide percentage.
Yeah, and it's 30 to 35%, he said, is what he expects in this election based on the numbers they have. 30 to 35% will be coming in that batch, so it should be a pretty representative sample.
Yeah, should tell us a lot as far as the initiatives, as far as the school boards go, and as far as the contested municipality races that are part of this as well. I feel like we've had absentee ballots by now, so I'm hoping there's not any kind of issue with election returns this evening.
Yeah, I hope it's a nice, smooth one. He said pretty straightforwardly that the day went really well. It was a good day. It was a rough night for him last night, concerns and prep, but the day went so smoothly for them. I hope that there's not a trip up now or any issue that arises right now. But they'd already verified that the numbers matched and all of those things, so I would expect those returns imminently.
Or they're giving us enough time to thank all of the sponsors.
Well, yeah, I mean they do. They know that the sponsors is what that's what drives media. So
that's right.
They want to make sure that they get this coverage. So we got to get the sponsors thoroughly thanked.
And they will thank us. And we have one of our sponsors here too, Kent Sissom, who's a candidate for St. Francis County Commissioner. He's doing a little research right now as he's talking to the Brain Trust of St. Francis County. And then another school board candidate, Ethan Smallin, has made his way into the room. So now we have 2 of the 7 candidates that are running for the Farmington School Board here tonight, as well as a couple other school board members. Central Superintendent is here, and we will definitely have a lot of people coming in and out. And again, I think, as we get closer and some of these numbers start to come in, we will definitely see some more people come in. Katrina Walker Miller says Mac was easy to vote with this year. Let's look at some of the other comments that we've had on the old Facebook page. Win or lose, okay, I think we can all agree we're ready for fewer campaign ads. Oh, man. Not me. I'm ready for more.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Well, I like them because usually that means I'm getting some money.
Yeah,
so
the revenue stream.
I'm okay with them.
Right.
But, yeah, no, campaign ad after campaign ad can get very cumbersome and very tiresome.
So I'm going to be in the minority on this one. I like the positive ones. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the ones that are painting a vision,
Yes.
And even if I disagree with the vision, I enjoy, I'm idealistic when it comes to that. I like the voting process. I think local elections are so much more consequential. Your vote counts for so much more. So I like to see what people in the local area, envision for their city, for their school, whatever. So the ones I don't like, are the super negative, types of things that we, you see. But
those are the most effective. Studies show that the negative attack ads are the most effective. Otherwise, people wouldn't do them.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, data set after data set, proves it.
It does. Jake Johnson says, so excited to see Jay Cox come out of retirement. How about that?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jake.
Yeah. Let's see. Carrie Herman Jinkerson said, voted last week on Weber, easy without a wait. So lots of positive. I've seen, and Kevin kind of mentioned there was a couple of negative things said on Facebook today, but for the most part, everybody's been very positive, and everything that I've seen has been very positive about the election changes here.
So one of the tricky things, I never forget how far in advance you can vote. Like, I never remember.
It's usually about a month.
It's about a month,
Yeah.
right?
You can vote in advance, and there's like periods too. I think like the first 2 weeks is you have to give an excuse.
Okay.
But that excuse can be, I think I might be out of town. And they're like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, I'm hoping my kid will qualify for the science fair.
Yeah, I'll have to go do that. Yeah.
right.
And so like I think 2 weeks out, there's no excuse voting, and then you can just vote whenever. Don't have to have an excuse.
So why would anybody do what I did and wait till today?
Well, I don't know, but a lot of people did. In
Yeah.
fact, more people waited until today than voted in advance. Well, like we were joking about earlier, your vote probably counts like just a little bit more
It's a little
because
bit more, right? I'm pushing,
you waited till the last second.
Yeah, so for the November one every year, I try to vote ahead of time. I figure it'll be a little bit more. But I don't have that like, oh, I need to save time and be like I could just do it the day. Like it's probably not going to be.
Not quite ready yet, but yeah, it will not be long.
Maybe one of those attack ads will come out and I'll change my
Ooh,
perspective.
you might. Yeah, you should probably wait till all the commercials have ran their course before you go vote. Our friend Tia Cunningham worked at the Mac Tech building today. It was amazing and went so smooth. She loves the change. So there you go. She endorses that. Allison Ward says Mac was super easy, in and out quickly. Everyone was so friendly. I think I already read that, though. Jake Johnson says he's no Mark Toady, though.
Yeah, well, you'll have that.
Well, it is
Jake's just mad because
what
I'm
it
not
is.
part of his revenue stream the same way
Ah,
Mark
that's
is.
true, yes.
Mark's getting, what, 6 sandwiches a week there?
Oh, absolutely. Easily.
Yeah, right.
Easily,
yeah,
man.
I'm not making those kind of numbers. I'm just not pulling those numbers.
Election night coverage here from the election facility here on Weber Road, Election Central, as we await the absentee ballots to come in for this year's municipal election. We have school-wide issues in Farmington and Central. We have contested school board races in Bismarck, Central, Farmington, North County, and West County. And we also have tax propositions in Farmington, Park Hills, and Deloge that'll be decided tonight. We'll have one contested alderman race in Deloge, 2 in Farmington, and then free-for-all in Leadington with the 4 people running for the 2 positions there. And that's all. And then, of course, one county-wide with the St. Francis County. Did I do that off the top of my head?
You did. You did an excellent job.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure I got that all to go.
Here,
Stacy Wilfong, can you speed up the process? I've hijacked the TV at Hubs. People, I don't know. Trust me, I wish, everybody at Hubs, I wish that we had our numbers quicker too. So,
what do they want to flip it back to a Cardinal game or something? What are they?
Yeah, I'm about to say, what is the score of the Cardinal game?
Yeah, give us an update, Stacy, and we'll give you an update.
Text me an update of the Cardinal game and whatever MMA fight is on the other channel there at Hubs Pub.
I'll get to whispering in some people's ears. Maybe he's dropping down the hall for you.
But hopefully, yes, we'll have those results to pass along to you very, very quickly here on this Tuesday evening. First day back. Did you have yesterday off as well?
Oh, no.
No, you actually had to work.
I'm a working man.
You had to work yesterday. You didn't get the bonus day after Easter.
No, I did not.
Man.
Yeah, so that's a long weekend.
It is a long weekend.
It's an action-packed weekend. You got the Tridium masses there. You're attending all those. Then I'm headed over to Illinois for in-laws and everything.
Ah, yes.
Coming back with a very full stomach. It's difficult to sleep, and then that Monday morning, you're sitting there.
Back at it.
I got ham and deviled eggs in there. I don't feel like going anywhere.
Right.
But I did. I soldiered on. You got.
Well, good. I'm glad you did.
But you got the extra day?
I got the extra day. It was off yesterday. So today was the first day back in the world of education. Yeah. And it was a very solid day.
Yeah.
Very solid day. Everybody was awake by the time they made it to my class.
I start to say full of eager students, I would guess.
Yes.
Super eager students.
They're very, very eager. Well, we hadn't had a chance to watch the lip dub together yet, so that was actually
so they probably actually were.
Yeah,
eager.
they actually did. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, so what can we do better next year? And boy, they critiqued the crap out of that thing.
Really?
But it was great. It was all constructive criticism, and it's all stuff that we're going to build off of next year.
I mean, that shows they're actively engaging in the content.
Yeah.
They're applying the lessons you're teaching them. I mean, that's
wow. Hey, I like how you said all that.
Yeah,
very nice.
That's got to feel fulfilling.
That does feel
That's
pretty
not
good.
always my experience in the classroom, Jason.
Well, good. I'm glad. Let's see. Ben Bradley said Farmington was so nice to vote at today. So he waited today and placed the vote. And then there's like a big thread about, I think somebody took offense to people coming after you.
Oh, people out on my defense? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. He's no Mark Toady. And, wait, never mind. Kayla put who is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I was like, wow, hey, look at this.
Is my mom out there watching?
We're gonna fight in the comment. 4-2 Nationals. Terry Leach says, "Thank you very much."
Yeah, but how's Jordan Walker doing?
Yeah, that's really all that matters, right?
He's 23. I haven't given up on him yet. He's the anchor
either.
of my fantasy team. I think
No doubt. I got to hang up
here.
my. People keep calling my daughter on my phone, and it keeps ringing. I think I've joined that phone call accidentally as I search for election night numbers. Well, let's go ahead and take another commercial break, and hopefully by the time these commercials play, we will have our first round of absentee ballots. That comes your way next. Election night coverage 2025.
For 3 generations, Bauman Oil has proudly served our community. It all started in 1948 when Louis Bauman partnered with Mobil Oil in Crystal City. As the area grew, so did Bauman, fueling homes, farms, and businesses across Jefferson and South St. Louis counties. In 1980, Paul Bauman took the reins, forming Bauman Oil Distributors. Today, the tradition continues with Jeremy Bauman delivering fuel and lubricants across a 7-county region. Bauman Oil, locally owned, community-focused, and here to stay. Want to work for a family-first company? Find out more at baumanoil.com.
Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis.
St. Francis County, it's our home, built on hard work, strong values, and community. But many believe it's time for a change. Meet Kent Sissom, a lifelong resident and retired businessman who understands what matters most. He's spent his entire life in this county, working the family business, raising a family, and learning firsthand the challenges the community faces. Kent Sissom is focused on responsible government spending, growing the local economy, and bringing transparency back to county government. He's working with community leaders to strengthen St. Francis County and build a better future for everyone. Kent Sissom believes the county can be stronger, more accountable, and ready for tomorrow. Vote Kent Sissom August 4th in the Republican primary for St. Francis County Presiding Commissioner. Kent Sissom, time for a change.
Paid for by Citizens for Kent Sissom. Dave Black, Treasurer. Chat. Back on the Parkland podcast as we wait for election returns to come in here on this municipal election. We have one of the candidates joining us now who's going to be part of the August primary, and that is Kent Sissom, who's a candidate for presiding commissioner of St. Francis County. How are you, sir? And this has got to be a relaxing election night for you tonight, right?
Tonight it will be. Yeah, I'm doing great, Jason. How about you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us here.
Absolutely.
How was your voting experience?
It was wonderful.
Where'd you vote?
I voted right here.
Did you go early?
I did.
And no problems whatsoever?
No. I think this is a great thing for the county. I do. I know some people didn't like it, but we still kept, or Kevin kept Bismarck and Leadwood open, and I used to have to go to Doe Run, and I didn't really like that track. And this worked out great for me. I hope it did for everyone else too.
What has your reactions been from people now that they found out that you're running for presiding commissioner?
Are you crazy?
Fair. That's a fair question.
Do you really want to? Do you really know what you're getting into? And I may not. And of course, I've been talking with Kerry Buckley, who was over there earlier, and he tells me the same thing. But the county's growing, and right now we're debt free. I want to make sure it stays that way. I'm not sure it's going that way. And of course, one of my big things. You want me to stop?
Yeah, I guess we probably should hear this. This is the results. In fact, if you want to run that microphone over to him, Kent, that'd be awesome. Here we go. Kevin Engler's got.
This is. We will have these on our website. They're going up right now, but this is from the center here today, which was 1,040 votes, and the absentees, which was about 1,770 something. Bismarck School Board, Mark Hedrick has 41 votes, Michael Barton 38, Adam Cato 22, Sally Caldwell 45, and Justin Kitchen 21. For Central Board, Dennis Norris 179, Aaron Bates 147, Dina Hart 164, and Adam Rediker 182. But for example, the Central, we don't have the college in yet, which will probably be quite a bit there. For the Central Proposition Rebels, which I think guy over there would like to hear it, you're currently up 64 to 35%. Could you shut this off? I don't have time. All right. Farmington R7. The school board, Angela Hahn is with 831. Howard Hain, 582. Stephanie Cabrera, 744. Kyle Short, 595. Ethan Small, 342. Jerry Freeman, 875, and Vanessa Pegram, 1,074. Farmington R7 proposition transfer, 62.89% versus 37.11. We have not gotten Farmington Civic Center in, which is about 700 votes, and that's going to be primarily Farmington. I'm looking through here. There's some smaller races. The North County School Board, Julie Pratt, 215 votes. Alan Greminger, 222. Stacy Wolfong, 222. So the two leading are tied right now there, but we don't have North County in, and we've have over 700 votes there. And Ryan Hawkins at 147. West County Board, Ricky Lawson, 37 votes. Christopher Lashley, 40. Brent Belfield, 33. Nick Jones, 33. Everybody says, well, that's real low. That's because we don't have Leadwood yet in. Sunrise, whole 1 vote. So we will pass over that. Bismarck Alderman, Curtis Cole, 10. Camille Brixey, 6. This does not include Bismarck, so that will make sense how the Farmington Councilman, Ward 3, Vince Coughlin, 87. He's unopposed. In Farmington 4, that's Logan Bryson, 80. Dan Combs, the pizza man, 191. Let's see, there's one other. Adam Parks, 188. Jason Denby, 79. And that looks like the contested. Deloge Alderman 3. 44, Deborah Kester, to 15, Ron Brady. Nothing else is contested. We have so many that's not contested. Leadington Alderman, Lance F. Tink, 7 votes. Jennifer Parker, 9. Casey Brady, 14. And Steve Kinsey, 3. but I would assume that most of those votes will take place at the college. Those are primarily absentees. There is nothing, Park Hills council person, right now, Rasnick is at 20 votes, Cindy Pemberthy, 31 votes, David Easter at 18, and Chris Bud Boyd at 15. Those are the only contestants. So that's where we're sitting right now. I don't have anything from the city prop use right now, but they should be coming in quickly because 2 of the precincts have already come in.
What do we have as far as numbers go for the ambulance district?
I don't have this on that screen. I was just trying to get some of the people that were interested in this room.
Okay.
We will have that. I'll try to look when it comes in here. But, okay, what is the St. Francis ambulance growth position?
Yes.
Yes, 62%. No, 37%.
Okay. Very good. So we have numbers on everything except for...
And he's currently processing Leadwood and Farmington Civic Center. I would suspect North County will be in the next 10 minutes.
Proposition 1, the hotel sales tax. Do we have numbers on that for Farmington?
Oh, here's Delo's Prop U. This was under one here. It's yes, 40.43, no, 59.57, but that's, once again, only 188 votes.
Okay.
Okay? I'm looking through, what else are we looking for? Farmington
hotel tax. And I assume the numbers you gave for the Farmington levy transfer, the yes votes were the higher number, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then the hotel tax, we're curious about that too. This room was so loud 5 minutes ago, Kevin, and now you can hear a pin drop.
There's some really good stories as he's dropping.
Oh, yeah.
Real good stuff.
We almost got Kit Sissom going too, man.
I don't have him on there yet.
Okay. All right. Hey, that's a lot of information to chew on, and definitely
I just pulled these off the printer.
Very good. And this is for absentees and for this facility. That's what those numbers represent.
Yes.
Okay.
1,040 from this facility.
In the next 15 minutes.
All right. Cool. Very good. All right, man. Well, let's look at these numbers we have here now, and
yeah. So we've got something to talk about here.
Yeah.
We got 1,040 from this facility and 1,770 from the absentee ballots that have come in so far. Obviously, this is partial information from spread out across the county. That's one of the interesting things about this setup is that we're not getting a full picture of all those, but that's okay too.
Yeah, and there were some people were asking, weren't there 3 people in Ward 3? And that is correct. We'll get that information here in just a little bit.
Ritter.
I think we missed Ritter for the numbers there, and we should be able to grab a couple pictures. Yeah, if you need to go ahead and get some pictures of that, you can help out Lisa here. Or you got it, Daniel? Perfect. Snap you some pictures, see if we can find the numbers for that. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and run over these Farmington School Board numbers. Right now, Vanessa Pegram appears to be the leader. She's got 1,074 votes. And then after that, looks like the next highest vote getter is Jerry Freeman with 875, followed by Angela Hahn with 831. After that, it's Stephanie Cabrera with 744, Kyle Short with Howard Hain with 582, Kyle Short 595, and Ethan Smallin 342. For the Central School District, right now it looks like Adam Redeker is the top vote getter, 182, followed by Denny Norris with 179, Dina Hart with 164, and Aaron Bates with 149. For the North County Board of Education, and I'm somehow missing numbers there for North County, so we'll come back to them. In West County, 3 open spots. It looks like Rick Lawson was the leader in that one. Bismarck looked like Sally Caldwell, Mark Hedrick, and Michael Barton were the leaders there. North County Board of Education. This is tight as can be. Stacy Wilfong and Alan Grimmage are currently tied with 222 votes each, 215 for Julie Pratt and 147 for Ryan Hawkins. Tax levy. City of Farmington School District levy, 62% for, 37 against as we sit right now. Don't have the numbers for the Farmington Prop 1 Central Board right now, 64% yes to 35% for the central bond issue. Right now, the Proposition U in Deloge is failing, 40% yes, 59% no. And let's see, checking some of the contested races. City of Farmington, Adam Parks with a big lead over Jason Demby. Dan Combs a big lead over Logan Bryson. David Easter is ahead of Chris Bub Boyd in Ward 2. And in Park Hills, Cindy Penberthy has opened up a pretty large lead over Matthew Rasnick. And right now for Leadington, looks like Casey Brady and Lance Eftank are your two, or excuse me, Casey Brady and Jennifer Parker, rather, are your two highest vote getters, but there's still a lot to come in. Do we get City of Deloge, Phyllis Ritter? Do we get her numbers yet? Because we have Debbie Kester at 44 and Ron Brady at 15.
I'm very close. I was looking for something else.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Say that again.
Deloge, Alderman, Ward 3. We have Debbie Kester and Ron Brady's numbers. We don't have Phyllis Ritter's.
Phyllis Ritter's at 6.
At 6. Okay, so 44 for Kester, 15 for Brady, and 6 for Ritter. And that's where we stand right now. Tons of comments coming into the Facebook page. We'll go ahead and kind of scroll through these and make sure we're answering them now as we've had numbers start to come in. Again, these are the numbers that are in for the absentee voting and everybody that voted at this facility. So let's see.
We were looking at St. Francis Growth Proposition 2, right? Is that the one?
Yes.
We've got 62 yes and 37.9 no on that with 2,700 votes in.
Okay, so there you go. Some pretty impressive numbers for that increase there. Let's see. I just want to know if I'm the new president of St. Francis County. Maybe.
What's the name on that?
That's Tanya Barton.
We can just speak that into existence, can't we?
Then looking at some of the other comments as people, let's see some people showing support for candidates that are winning right now, and again, a lot of people. It's again, it goes to show you. So some of these positions are very, very tight, and yeah, you probably do need to bring my glasses. No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah, these votes are very, very important. So, basically, this is 3 of the 8 in because we would have had 2 from here and the absentee ballots. So, that's 3 of the 8. So, that means we're still waiting on 5.
Now, we do have some results that he did not read out loud. He was hitting some of the highlights. Iron Mountain Lake Mayor.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we've got Brenda Goodman with 84%, David Brune with 13%. That's with 38.
38 ballots in?
38
okay.
ballots in.
Great.
Iron Mountain Lake Alderman, 2-year term. We've got A.C. Moore with 30. James Dake with 15 total votes. And some write-in folks also there as well. Tim Morrison, David Henson, I think are running uncontested there as well. Let's see. Seeing if there was anything else that maybe we skipped through.
Okay.
I think that covers it. I think I missed a couple on there in terms of writing those down. Chris Lashley has 40 votes in that West County vacancy there. There's 3, right? 3 slots to fill.
3 slots, 4 people. Apparently Rick Lawson has got 139 votes. And then
this is showing 37.
37. Okay,
so it may be a misspoke there.
So now that's a very, very tight race then, because it looked like Lawson had a big lead, but now everybody's all just a couple of votes apart.
40, 37, 33, and 33. So we're looking at everybody's kind of got that split 4 ways, with Lashley just having a slight lead. So I don't know if he said 137 or if I heard 137. So our apologies there.
Heather Garner's asking about Fredericktown Mayor. I do not have any election results from Madison County. I apologize for that. And then Casey Hartley did us a solid and put the numbers up for the Farmington School Board candidates. So again, Pegram with 1,074, Jerry Freeman with 875, Angela Hahn 831, Stephanie Cabrera 744, Kyle Short 595, Howard Hain 592, and Ethan Smallin 342. And then lots of compliments. Jason B. Adams again wants to know about that North County School Board. Again, the numbers as of right now unofficially. Looks like Stacy Tiffenheyer, Alan Grimminger with 222 each, 215 for Julie Pratt, and 147 for Ryan Hawkins. Right now, Central, again, with just the absentee and the precinct here at Weber Road turned in. Adam Redeker with 182, 179 for Denny Norris, 164 for Dina Hart, and 147 for Aaron Bates. So anybody's race there as far as Central goes. My apologies, Heather. Maybe we can make you our Madison County correspondent next time.
That's a good idea.
Richard Skinner asking about Farmington Proposition 1. That's the hotel tax. Did we find any numbers on that?
Yeah, let me pull that right back up here. That's Proposition 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
The growth proposition.
No, that's the ambulance district.
No, that's the ambulance one. Yeah,
Okay.
so tax transfer. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. City of Farmington Proposition 1.
Can I borrow your reading glasses?
Yeah, I think so.
Farmington Proposition 1 is 57% yes and 42.9 on no. That's 1,163 votes.
Okay. And then we had somebody ask again for Deloge Ward 3 Alderman. And right now, Debbie Kester with 44. We had Ron Brady with 15. I believe Phyllis Ritter had 9. That was the number you gave me. I know it was single digits.
Yeah.
So that's where that Alderman race stands. And as far as Farmington goes, Adam Parks and Dan Combs both with large leads in their races. But again, this does not include ballots that were casted today at the First State Community Bank Center or at MacTech or at North County High School. So these numbers will change quite a bit as we roll along here. So should we put Kent Sism back on the air so that Kevin Engler shows up with more ballots?
If I got bumped like that, I don't know if I'd come back.
Kent, you want to come back and join us again and see what happens? Bring the microphone with you, yeah.
He doesn't seem deeply offended anyway.
Yes, yeah. No, Kent's a pretty easygoing guy. All right, there should be a button on there. Probably have to turn that dude back on. Is it green? Oh, no, you're good, man.
Good. Yeah, he's good.
You're good. So where were we? We were talking about, we asked you what's been the reaction from people whenever they found out you were running for presiding commissioner, and you said most of them asked if you're crazy.
Yeah, they did. They did. And the more I find out, they may be right. I don't know. But, this county's growing, and I have a background in the county, and I got a hold of the budget and the financials. I think it's 176 pages, something like that. And I had a business, and at the end of the month, in my business, I'd get a 6-inch report showing me where every check went, who got it, why it got cut, who signed it, or why it got signed, what all the appropriate things. I made the report. You can't do that in the county.
Yeah.
As a citizen, I think in St. Francis County, you should be able to go in and say, hey, there's a check there for $5,000 to Road and Bridge. What was it for? And who authorized it? And et cetera, et cetera. That's one thing I'd like to get changed. I don't know if I can do it with the way government and not-for-profit accounting is. That was the worst class I had in my accounting background, worst grade I ever got. But that's a big thing I would like to do, is get some more transparency for the people. Just like, now you can go in and you can say, okay, I want to print my property tax receipt. We couldn't do that until, this year or last year.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, there's just a lot of business stuff that needs to, I don't know, the county needs to be run more like a business. I mean, we got a, $45 million budget, something like that. And I'm sure there's a lot of waste in it. I just want to get my hands around it and see if I can do any good.
Another thing you've emphasized is you want to work with the cities of St. Francis County. Talk a little bit about some of the connections you already have or are making with the city leaders in the different communities of St. Francis.
Yeah, I do. I've met with the mayors of several of the cities. For instance, the county has a grant writer on staff. and she does a great job. I think that, if the cities need help, we should be able to loan that grant writer out for a small pittance, at least pay her salary, whatever, and help them get those grants written. And I think the county needs to work with the cities and the mayors, because that's where everything gets started. That's how things progress. And the mayors they're hands-on. They know what's going on, and the county needs to be more receptive what their needs are.
Very good. And right on cue, the results come in as soon as you get back on the microphone.
We're just going to keep inviting you over.
Yeah, we will. So we'll conduct this interview in like little snippets, Kit. We appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Join us for the next 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, they're walking them around. So yeah, but Kevin's not here this time, so you can hold on to the mic if you want to.
No, that's okay. You're a good luck charm for us.
About to say, yeah, we'll bring you back on and we'll continue this interview like in part 3. Daniel, if you want to grab one of those dudes. Yeah. Oh, never mind. We got them right here. Perfect. We each get our own copy. Wow, you did that just right. Thank you so much.
They saved a lot on ballots.
They did.
So they can print us our own.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. This is. Are these the final numbers? It says 21 of 21 precincts reporting.
Well, I think we're still getting information from all of those precincts. I don't think these are final numbers, are they?
I don't think so either, because these numbers have not jumped that much. They have gone up, but
we'll see if we can.
Let's say, do you have the 21 of 21 up there at the top? Because that might indicate that we might be 100% done here. These were printed at 8:13 p.m. Well, let's go ahead and run these numbers out here. And these are, I know the North County numbers have changed drastically.
That's pretty dramatic there, yeah.
But let's start with Bismarck. And as of right now, I believe these could be our final numbers. Michael Barton, Sally Colwell, and Mark Hedrick are the 3 leading vote getters in the Bismarck School District. Mark Hedrick with 162, Justin Kitchell had 121, and Adam Cato with 101. So that's for the Bismarck Board of Education. Farron Hinson got the got in the 1-year term. For Central School Board, looks like Adam Redeker is the big winner with 27% of the votes. So Adam will be a member of the Central School Board, followed by Denny Norris continuing to serve, and Dina Hart. Aaron Bates is the odd man out, but a very tight race. 532 for Redeker, 474 for Norris, 458 for Hart, and 431 for Bates. Tell us about Central R3 Proposition Rebels, Daniel.
The Proposition Rebels, as of right now, 625 yes, no is 248, so that's 71% of the vote. It's shown as 100% of the precincts reporting on that as well.
We have what looks like 90% of the precincts for the Farmington Board of Education, and as of right now, unofficial numbers have Vanessa Pegram in with 1,438 votes, followed by Jerry Freeman with 1,118, Angela Hahn with 1,089, Stephanie Cabrera right there with 1,018, and then after that we have 787 for Kyle Short, 739 for Howard Hain, and 461 for Ethan Smolin with 31 write-in votes there.
All right, proposition transfer for Farmington R7, 90% of precincts reporting. We've got yes at 64% and no at 35%. That's with 2,598 total votes.
North County Board of Education, 8 of 9 precincts in, and this one is a tight one. Actually, it looks like Stacy Wilfong, the overall leader, with 675, 666 votes for Julie Pratt, 663 votes for Alan Grimminger, and then Ryan Hawkins appears to be the odd man out, at least right now, with 478 votes there.
All right, we've got 3 positions to fill on the West County School Board. We've got 4 of 4 precincts reporting, and we've got Christopher Lashley, 136, Brent Belfield, 122, and Ricky Lawson with 116, 9 ahead of Nick Jones. Very tight race.
Yeah. Let's see the Pilot Knob Water District question. 169 yes to 62 no there, and then this is weird. We have 8 of 9 precincts reported in for North County, but we have 21 of 21 for the ambulance district. So I'm a little confused, but it looks like that sales tax is passed by a pretty large margin, 63% for to 37% against.
Yeah, if we find out that there's some more out there, it would still be difficult to see that flipped the other way. Let's see, that one's uncontested.
I think our next one would be Bismarck Board of Aldermen, and that's for Ward 1, and Curtis Cole with a lead over Camille Brixley. Looks like Curtis Cole with 67 votes and Brixley with 24. And then, let's see, the rest of these, I believe, are uncontested. And then we get to the cities of Farmington and Deloge. Right now, looks like Debbie Kester is going to remain an alderman for Ward 3. She finished with 67% of the vote, followed by Ron Brady's 25% and Phyllis Ritter's 5%.
Looks like the Deloge Proposition U has failed to pass again. So that's 65% no vote, 34% yes vote. If that is all of the precincts on that, it's 320 to 172.
And then Farmington City Council, Adam Parks, winner over Jason Denby with 69% of the vote. And Dan Combs with 69% of the vote to Logan Bryson's 29%.
Proposition 1 in Farmington, 57% yes, 42% no. So that is, again, that's the, is that the transient hotel?
Yes, the hotel tax.
Yeah,
so that looks like it's passed.
Yeah, that's my takeaway, just the transient. That's
the
all
transient.
That's all I'm going to remember about that.
All right. So there you go. And again, we're waiting for a few things to finalize, but as it looks right now, we are sitting with just about all these races now being confirmed as we sit here at 8:18. Quick recap. Looks like the school board, the bond issue for Central has passed. Looks like the Farmington transfer levy has passed. And looks like we've had some pretty good numbers, especially for an April municipal election.
Huge turnout for April. You like to see it. You like to see people coming out. They recognize that their vote counts for a little bit more in this election than it does in a national one, so that's good. Yeah, Prop U passed. I mean, no, Prop U failed in Park Hills as well.
Okay.
Yeah, failed in.
So Park Hills, Deloge failing their proposition. And we're still waiting for one more, I guess, precinct to come in, and then we'll have the final numbers to give you like a full-on rundown as to exactly how everything shook out tonight. All right, let's take a quick break, courtesy of our sponsors, and we'll come back and wrap this election night coverage up here.
For 3 generations, Bauman Oil has proudly served our community. It all started in 1948 when Louis Bauman partnered with Municipal Oil in Crystal City. As the area grew, so did Bauman, fueling homes, farms, and businesses across Jefferson and South St. Louis counties. In 1980, Paul Bauman took the reins, forming Bauman Oil Distributors. Today, the tradition continues with Jeremy Bauman delivering fuel and lubricants across a 7-county region. Bauman Oil, locally owned, community-focused, and here to stay. Want to work for a family-first company? Find out more at baumanoil.com.
Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis.
St. Francis County, it's our home, built on hard work, strong values, and community. But many believe it's time for a change. Meet Kent Sissom, a lifelong resident and retired businessman who understands what matters most. He's spent his entire life in this county, working the family business, raising a family, and learning firsthand the challenges the community faces. Kent Sissom is focused on responsible government spending, growing the local economy, and bringing transparency back to county government. He's working with community leaders to strengthen St. Francis County and build a better future for everyone. Kent Sissom believes the county can be stronger, more accountable, and ready for tomorrow. Vote Kent Sissom August 4th in the Republican primary for St. Francis County Presiding Commissioner. Kent Sissom, time for a change.
Paid for by Citizens for Kent Sissom. Dave Black, Treasurer. Back on the Parkland Podcast here on Facebook and YouTube Live. The crowd is cut down here as people are starting to file out. And again, we have numbers that are almost final. This is your unofficial election night numbers that we're about to give you right now. And go ahead and start with Bismarck Board of Education.
All right, we've got 3 people for a 3-year term. We've got Michael Barton is the leader there with 183, Sally Caldwell 181, and Mark Hedrick at 162. Those are the 3 front runners there. Those are the ones that will have the spot if this becomes official.
Central School Board leading vote getter Adam Redeker, 532 votes, 27%. Ballots cast in his favor, 24% for Denny Norris and 23% for Dina Hart. Very tight race. Aaron Bates left out with 22%. A very tight race in Central goes the way for Adam, Dennis, and Dina. Proposition Rebels, how did that turn out for Central?
Yeah, that one passed 71%. Just a definitive victory there. 625 yes votes, 248 no.
Then for the Farmington Board of Education, it was Vanessa Pegram with the top vote getter with 1,438, 21% of the ballots cast in her favor. Jerry Freeman finishes with 1,118. And Angela Hahn just outlasting Stephanie Cabrera, 1,089 to 1,018. Now, there will be some voters in St. Genevieve County that are part of the Farmington Board voting district, and I believe there might be, I don't know, there might be some in Madison County as well.
It's probably the one precinct that we're missing.
That
from
could be.
That. It would be the St. Genevieve. It would be my guess.
Farmington R7 proposition transfer, how did that go?
That's a yes by a pretty solid margin there, by 750 votes, 64% in favor of proposition transfer.
Meanwhile, North County Board of Education, the 3 incumbents all appear to be heading back to their positions as 675 votes for Stacy Wilkfong, 666 for Julie Pratt, and 663 for Alan Grimminger.
All right, over in West County, the 3 positions there will be filled by Christopher Lashley, 136 of the vote, Brent Belfield, 122, and Ricky Lawson had 116.
And again, there's also a little bit of crossover with Washington County there as well. So those appear to be pretty tight. But
yeah, if those are not finalized, we're talking about a 9-vote margin there for the 4th place person there. So if if Washington County's information is not in and that's still live, it's hard to tell what might happen with that.
Moving on to the Pilot Knob Rural Water District question. And it looks like 169 people voted yes for that measure, 62 no, so 73% overwhelmingly approving the Pilot Knob water issue.
All right, if we look at that St. Francis ambulance growth proposition, yes, again, 62.5% of folks voted in favor of that, 37% no, with 5,136 people casting a ballot on that issue.
Contested race in the city of Bismarck appears to go the way of Curtis Cole. He wins at 67 votes to Camille Brixley's 24. All the other alderman races in Bonne Terre and Bismarck were uncontested, and just one alderman race in Deloge contested this time.
Yeah, Ward 3, you're only voting for one there. You get Deborah Kester with 119, Ron Brady with 47, and Phyllis Ritter had 10 votes in that race.
Proposition U fails in the city of Deloge. 324 people cast the no vote, 172 voted yes.
All right, we've got Farmington Councilman, Ward 1, Adam Parks, 232 over Jason Denby's 102.
And then we had Logan Bryson falling to Dan Combs in Ward 4. Dan Combs a winner 260 to Logan Bryson's 112. I believe that's Dan Combs, the banking man, not the pizza man, as Kevin indicated earlier.
That's Combs Jr., right?
Combs Jr., yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hotel sales tax for the city of Farmington looks like it passed.
Yeah, Prop 1 passed, 57% of the vote.
We had a pretty contested race for Alderman number 2 in Iron Mountain Lake. A.C. Moore with the win over James Dackey, 47 to 25. And then here you go. You talk about my vote didn't count. How about if you were in Iron Mountain Lake and you were voting in the one-year unexpired term? Tim Morris with 43, David Hinson with 42. Tim Morris wins by one vote.
Yeah, you don't see that one every day, but you see it just often enough to head down to the polls, I hope. You know?
Absolutely. Leadington Alderman, looks like we got a very tight race there.
Yeah. Casey Brady with 29 and Steve Kinsey, 23. Those 2 seats there.
And Lance Eftink, one of the incumbents, with just 21 votes. So very tight race there. City of Park Hills, a couple of contested races there. It looks like Chris Bub Boyd has knocked off David Easter, the incumbent in Ward 2. 54 votes for Chris Bub Boyd, 34 for David Easter.
Now, it does look like there's one precinct missing from that one, so don't know exactly where that would be located, but just something to keep in mind with some of these.
And then the unexpired Ward 3 one-year term, looks like Matthew Rasnick will continue to serve in that position as he got a 91 to 62 lead over Cindy Penberthy. And then Proposition U suffering a similar fate in Park Hills as it did in Deloge. 197 people voting yes, 388 people voting no.
I think that's a 2/3 for both of them voting against. I think they fell by basically the same percentage in both locations.
All right. So we'll double check, see if I can get Kevin Engler's attention here. These are the final numbers for everything in St. Francis. That's it? Okay. I know some of these, like said, 7 of 8 and 8 of 9, but I wanted to make sure. Okay. So these are the unofficial final numbers for St. Francis County. How about that? Very good. What do you think about election night coverage?
It's as good as I remember it.
Was it? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. I've had a
Very
great
good.
time. I mean, I just don't know if this chair will fit Tony anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean,
Probably not.
Yeah, if he can have his Tuesday night free again, he probably give it up for me. So
Well, you need to schedule him like a hair appointment or something.
That
the
seems
night of August, whatever August 8th is.
August 8th.
Yeah, I think that's the first one. Yes.
I'll look into that.
So there you go.
No, I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, no, it's been great. I've enjoyed having you here. It's been a big help. And if it wasn't for Kent Sism, we probably never would have got any ballots in.
We could have sat here for another 4 hours.
Yeah.
And, I just want to throw another shout out. Thank you for the updates on Facebook for Jordan Walker.
Oh, yes. He had a home run.
You guys keeping me posted on how that's going. I know my whole fantasy league is rooting against Jordan Walker tonight.
Very good. Well, thanks so much for watching. Thanks to our sponsors. Again, we want to thank Bauman Oil, Pettis Automotive, Mac Tech, and Kent Sism, candidate for St. Francis County presiding commissioner, all being a part of our broadcast tonight. I guess that'll do it.
Yeah.
Pleasure working with you, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Always a pleasure when we get to spend some time together, Jason.
All right. Daniel J. Cox, I'm Jason Lowry.